This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles Podcast, where we can respect and voice to people with special needs through the media. I'm your host and founder of Special Chronicles and an athlete leader with Special Olympics Illinois, Daniel Smrokowski. And today we're spotlighting a partnership that brings generosity, community, and inclusion to life across the country. Each year, Jersey Mike's Subs leads a nationwide month of giving, and it all culminates on the day of giving, when 100% of sales support organizations making a difference. For Special Olympics, that means more athletes on the field, more unified programs in schools, and more opportunities within our sports, leadership, and health programs for people with intellectual disabilities like myself to shine. Joining me today is Maegan Duffy, Director of Operations for the Hellcat Group, a Jersey Mike's franchise organization that plays a major role in bringing this mission to life. Maegan oversees teams across multiple locations, and she's here to share how her shows prepare, how her employees rally behind inclusion, and why this partnership between Jersey Mike's and Special Olympics continues to grow year after year. Settle in and join us as we go behind the scenes of a campaign that fuels community purpose and life-changing opportunities for Special Olympics athletes like myself. For full show notes and to listen or watch this episode and to hear more episodes on demand, visit specialchronicles.com. And please put your virtual hands together as we welcome Maegan on Special Chronicles. Welcome, Maegan. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And so to begin, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us a little bit about what is the Jersey Mike's Month and Day of Giving, and how this partnership with Special Olympics first began.
So I have been with Jersey Mike's as the brand for about 16 years. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I've never done this before. So I've been with Jersey Mike's for about 16 years. Every March we partner with a charity. Every 4 consecutive years it's a local charity, and then on the 5th year it is the Special Olympics. The last time that we did it was in 2022. I messed up again, Dan.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's all good. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
It's every 4 years. Sorry about that. So our last month of giving in 2025, Jersey Mike's as a whole raised $30 million. So this year we're gonna try and do it a little bit better, maybe hit 40.
Awesome. And so from your perspective as director of the operations, what makes this partnership so meaningful to Jersey Mike's?
So I think Jersey Mike's as a whole is about belonging and inclusion as a whole. And nobody really encapsulates that better than the Special Olympics and the opportunity that it gives to people to connect with others, compete, and just have fun. And that's kind of what we're all about.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's definitely what both myself and other Special Olympics athletes, it's all about too, about having fun. Yes, we're there to compete, but also like something that for example, my basketball coach always tells us, yes, we're there to compete and to play good basketball, but after she's finished coaching us and telling us the plays, she always, my coach always reminds us that it's there to have fun. So it's exciting to hear that Josie Mike's had that same experience.
Yeah, for us, we kind of just say it's just sandwiches. So relax and have fun.
Awesome. Love that. So how have you seen this month of giving evolved over the years? You said the last time that Jersey Mike supported Special Olympics was in 2022, doing our last USA Games, and now this next USA Games in 2026 is happening this June in Minnesota. So I'm sure it's happening with Josie Mike's across the country, right? Is that so? How have you seen the month of giving evolving over the years?
So over the years, brand awareness as a whole, when I started 16 years ago, there were 350 stores, and we were only in the United States. Now you're looking at close to 4,000. We're in Canada. We're about to expand into the UK. So brand awareness as a whole has grown exponentially. And kind of what you see that goes along with that is the donation amounts that come in.
Awesome. Now let's dive into a little bit more of your role and leadership related to this month of giving in March, but also in particular the day of giving. Can you share what your role of director operations looks like during this month of giving, and in particular the day of giving?
So for me, for month of giving, I start my planning process usually in October or November to get ready for March. And what that looks like is awareness, not just for our general managers, but also for our hourly employees. So it's making sure that everybody in the store, whether they're brand new to us and they're 16 years old and it's their first job, or they've been with us for 10 years, is they understand who we're raising money for and why, and where that money is going to go.
Awesome. How do you support your teams across the Hellcat Group to prepare such a large and mission-driven campaign? How can you dive a little bit more into how you're supporting your teams?
Sure. So last week on Wednesday, we actually brought together all of our general managers for our annual meeting. Amanda and Megan actually attended and did a presentation on what the Special Olympics were. We had a speaker. Her name's Mallory. She was fantastic. She's one of the athlete leaders as well. And it gave our managers the opportunity to have a better connection with the Special Olympics as a whole. Now, going forward, starting this week, I'm going to replicate those meetings in 6 of our stores, and we're going to bring together, hopefully, at least 80% of our employees, and we employ close to 500 people. And so it's really just explaining to them what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how they're going to get those donations.
Awesome. I was on a call a few weeks ago, I think, and myself and a bunch of other athlete leaders have been selected to be, I think, store ambassadors.
Okay.
So I think the store that I'll be headed to is in Downers Grove, I think, on Ogden Avenue. So I believe Special Olympics has selected one of us athlete leaders for each of the stores to connect with not only the employees, but I'm sure the customers as well. So it's exciting to hear that you had Amanda and Megan from Special Olympics and athlete leader Mary speak to all of your managers. So what kind of jumping off of that experience that you said, what motivates you personally to champion this partnership? Do you have a personal connection with this movement, with the Special Olympics movement, or what motivates you?
So Special Olympics as a whole, I think, is a great organization. For me, I do have a 7-year-old son that was diagnosed with autism when he was 2. He is not much of an athlete. I tried to get him into buddy ball. He is not a team sport guy. Most recently, we've been watching the Olympics together, and he told me he wants to be a snow ski racer And then about 2 minutes later, he said, no, I'll fall. I'll crack my knee. So this year, I think we're going to try and find some individual stuff he's into and then try and get him started once he's 8. But that's really my personal connection to it. A lot of other people within our company also have children in similar situations. And so with something like this, when there's the personal connection, I think it really revs up the engine, so to speak.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure it means I'm sure it will mean a lot more for the employees to, whether it's a family kind of connection or meeting another special Olympics athlete, to have that personal connection. You know that it's not just raising money for any organization, but the fact that Special Olympics does so much for us, not just on the field, but within leadership and health, and there's so much more that this movement, that Special Olympics offers us.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into the impact on athletes and within the community, what does the Day of Giving, which I believe you, I don't know if you mentioned, you might have mentioned this before we started recording, or it might have been at the beginning, but March 25th. So what does the Day of Giving make possible for Special Olympics athletes and the programs on this particular one Day of Giving?
So we collect donations all month, but the Day of Giving is kind of the big kahuna, so to speak. So from 10 a.m. when we open our doors until 9:05 when we lock our doors, 100% of sales are going to go directly to the Special Olympics. That's not profits, it is sales. So what we do is probably 3-4 times the normal amount of business that we do. And it's my understanding that that money is going to go to making the Special Olympics more accessible to people in our communities, getting out awareness, and then also those health programs that Amanda and Maegan talked about, vaccinations, vision tests, dentist checks.
Yeah, absolutely. To share kind of a story with you about that impact, in particular at our state competitions, we have the healthy athletes, which were able to go through free health screenings. I was able to get free. I was able to get glasses by going through the eye exam, and then I went through the healthy hearing screening as well, and I think they found something that I was able to then bring to my doctor, some hearing loss a little bit in my left ear, and it's all because of going through our health programs at Special Olympics. So that just speaks just a little bit to the just how important the impact that you guys are when people are supporting on this Day of Giving and throughout the month. That it really does go a long way to support us. So moving on, are there any stories or moments that stand out to you from past years? I know we're recording this in just a little bit before what they're giving, and this episode is going to air the week of the Day of Giving. But looking back on the past years of the Day of Giving and the month of giving, are there any stories or moments that stand out to you?
So the last time that we partnered with the Special Olympics in 2022, a few of our stores got some kind of surprise visits from athletes. It wasn't as organized as we're experiencing this year, particularly out in our DeKalb store. We had, I think, 4 or 5 athletes that just came out. They were hanging out, basically working shifts for the entire day, and everybody was so excited. Lots of high fives in the dining room, lots of greeting guests, thanking them for their contributions. And so when you had mentioned earlier about athlete leaders being paired with stores, I think that's going to be awesome for this year.
Awesome. Awesome. And how does this initiative help to build more inclusive communities across the region? I'm sure there was a bunch of Jersey Mike stores that you are managing. So how is this initiative going to help to build more inclusive communities?
I think for me and for us, a lot of times most people know what the Special Olympics are, kind of conceptually, but they don't understand truly what the Special Olympics does for everyone. And I think just talking about it, our stores, we kind of go all out with decorations. We put informational stuff up on the walls, on each table. And I think the first step for all of it is just making people more aware of what the Special Olympics truly do.
Awesome. Yeah, it's neat that it's not just about raising money, but also bringing that awareness that yes, there's a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people, Special Olympics, I think it's been around for over 55 something years. And so, yes, people know, but when people hear those personal impact stories or just hear just a little bit more than they know that the real impact that they can make. So it's neat that it has not just the donation part, which of course is important, but
Yes.
also the awareness part that those lives and those people that are behind the impact.
Absolutely.
As we dive into more of the behind the scenes of Jersey Mike, what goes into preparing the stores for the month and day giving? You said that you go all out and put in decorations and information. Can you dive a little bit more into the preparation for the month of giving, and then in particular this day of giving that's coming up?
Yeah, so the month of giving, our stores basically overnight when the calendar swaps from February to March. We have stores that essentially turn into, at night, it looks like a nightclub. They put up lights, they put up pictures, it's balloon arches, it's anything that you can imagine or something you haven't thought of yet, my managers have thought of. Their goal is to go so over the top that when somebody walks in as a customer, they stop and they go, "Hey, what's going on?" And that immediately opens the door to, "Hey, we're raising money for the Special Olympics." As far as the day of giving, that is an all hands on deck day. It's a blacked out date. Nobody in the company takes the day off. I personally will be in store starting at 6 a.m. Last year, I was out until 10 o'clock at night. We all are making sandwiches. We're all making sure that we have enough bread, we have enough produce. It flies by. It goes so fast, but we want to make sure that we have all of the stuff we need to have a successful day, food-wise.
Awesome. And how do team members get involved? What does the energy feel like inside the stores on the day of giving? People, a lot of the team members telling people about Special Olympics? Are they sharing any stories of us athletes, or how? Can you talk a little bit more about how each of the team members are getting involved?
Yeah, so all of the team members, I mentioned it was a blackout day, but nobody really wants to take that day off. It's the day that everybody wants to work. We ensure that all of our team members are able to answer the question, "Hey, where's my money going? What is it doing?" And so they all are educated on it. And then as far as personal stories, we don't force anyone to kind of share that part of their lives. But we do see it happen. You see people open up to a parent comes in and they mention their kid's an athlete, and then suddenly they're off to the side having a conversation just about things that they can connect on.
Awesome. Yeah, it's exciting to hear that you're not just posting any stories, but I think when people hear about that you're supporting Special Olympics, that natural conversation with with customers, but speaks a lot to the awareness and the impact that you are making. What does success look like for your teams doing this campaign? Whether it's the day of giving, whether it's for doing the whole month of giving, what does success look like?
Success for us is that everyone's engaged and that we're raising money for a great cause. If you were to ask my teams what success looks like, it would be that they win all of the contests. So we do various contests like who raises the most money for the month, who has the best decorated store, and that's kind of also how we build the hype around the month.
Awesome. Was it move into community engagement because it's that's a big part of that the Jersey Mike stores are out in the community. So how have you seen that customers are responding to this month of giving? You can even look back and on the day of giving, but how are you seeing the customers? I think you mentioned this just a little bit ago that you've seen a customer that the parent of an athlete that's talking. But how else have you seen customers responding to this month of giving?
So especially with the Special Olympics, it's always a positive reaction because again, everybody knows of the Special Olympics. And then once they get educated a little bit more on why we're doing it and where that money's going for, we get a lot of thank yous, we get a lot of this is great. And hopefully when they learn a little bit more, they share that within their own communities.
Awesome. What does it mean to see entire communities that are showing up to support Special Olympics through a simple act like buying a sub? What does it mean for you or for Jersey Mike's overall?
I think for me, it's a beautiful thing. I think sometimes we kind of get lost in the everyday of kind of the sluggishness, but when you see any large group of people come together in kind of a pure act of giving, it's fantastic.
Awesome. And how does the Hellcat Group encourage ongoing involvement beyond the day giving? As we talked about it, you're supporting also throughout the whole month of March, but even beyond the month of giving and in this day giving, how are these Jersey Mike stores encouraging ongoing involvement?
So with the Special Olympics specifically, we have encouraged everyone to participate in the polar plunges. I know I have a few managers that have. Throughout the year, we kind of push for people we don't dictate how they spend their free time, but we encourage people to volunteer, whether that's with the Special Olympics or a special recreation group or any charity that they want to get involved with, because to us, giving back is probably one of the most, if not the most important things to us as a company.
Awesome. Yeah, I've done the polar plunge a bunch. I'm doing it again this year. Have you done the polar plunge in the past?
So I have when I was in college, when I was younger and much more of a daredevil. I have not done one recently, but I have been getting some phone calls from some managers trying to drag me out. So you may see me out there too.
Awesome. So yeah, it's exciting to hear that you and your teams are not just supporting the month of giving and the day of giving, but also events like the polar plunge, that you're getting more involved with this movement. How can our listeners participate and support Special Olympics through Jersey Mike's this year?
So starting March 1st, we'll be collecting donations. What we have is the big donation getter. It's a card for a $5 donation. You get a free sandwich. And so we get a lot of people that'll come in, they'll buy 10 cards. and they'll use those cards after the month of giving. And so we do have a contest amongst our stores who gets the most donations, and that's generally how they do it. But just coming in, getting food, spreading the word, and then of course coming in on the day of giving, that is going to be the best way to get some money in the pockets of the Special Olympics.
Awesome. And what should people know before the visit to their local store on they're giving? I think this episode drops on March 23rd. So the day giving will be happening in just a few days. And if you guys are listening to this in real time or this week, March 25th. So what should people know? We will, of course, hopefully they will all come out during their lunch breaks and dinner breaks, I guess, depending on when people are finding time to eat. But what should people know about before they visit Jersey Mike's for the day of giving?
So day of giving, we operate as business as usual. So you can come in the store and order. You can order through DoorDash, Uber Eats, or the Jersey Mike's app or website. The only thing that we ask is have a little bit of patience, give everybody a little bit of grace because it's off the wall. But I recommend people come in, enjoy the vibes, have fun, and then hopefully they'd be able to meet one of the athlete leaders.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And how can supporters stay connected with the mission after the campaign ends? The day giving is March 25th, and then the month of giving will end at the end of March. But how can supporters stay connected with this mission?
Yeah, so with Jersey Mike's as a whole, once the month of giving comes to an end, they will put up on the website how much money in total that we raise nationwide. And then there will be updates when Jersey Mike's is sponsoring the Special Olympics in Minnesota in June. And then I'm sure the Special Olympics website will keep everybody informed and up to date.
Awesome. So for those, if you're listening, no matter whether you're listening in Illinois or find your local Special Olympics program, specialolympics.org, because we of course have listeners here in Illinois, but also listeners across the country and across the globe. So you can find your local Special Olympics program at specialolympics.org. Before we get to the final question, because I know the time has just flown by, do you have any final thought? Oh, wait. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm skipping all over the place here.
That's all right.
What inspires you most about the Special Olympics movement?
I think Special Olympics, giving everybody the chance to participate, whether that's through competition or volunteering, and just to be celebrated for who they are. I think that's huge for me.
Awesome. And do you have any final thoughts on your overall time here today? Whether it's about this Special Chronicles podcast or just overall that you want our listeners to take away from this episode?
So a big takeaway should be come out, support Jersey Mike's, support the Special Olympics. The personal takeaway for me is I've never done one of these before. Dan, thank you for being so welcoming and so gentle with me. Rocky start a little bit, but I did really enjoy my time with you.
Awesome. Yeah. It was a lot of fun having you on, and I'm glad that we were able to educate all listeners just to hear a little bit more about the mission and the reason of why Jersey Mike's is supporting is doing just so much beyond just writing a check, but the fact that you're decorating the shows and that you're educating your employees and you're educating your customers about the mission of Special Olympics means so much, not just for myself, but for all the other athletes across the state and across the globe. as well. So we got one final question, and to introduce that, because yes, we want our listeners to listen to the podcast today. We want our listeners to go out to Josie and Mike's during the month and day of giving. But even more than that, we want to leave our listeners with a call to action to bring inclusion into their communities, just like you and all the Josie and Mike's stores are all being inclusive in interacting with us athletes in your stores. We want to leave our listeners with a call to action. So we've got a bumper. So let's go ahead and roll that bumper to introduce this final question.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality.
Dignity.
and the recognition of our
Shared humanity. We will not stop.
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
More divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution.
Is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
Ever since I attended the 2019 Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi, I've been asking this final question that really gets to the heart of what we're trying to do with this podcast. And this final question, I think will help to leave our listeners with a very good, powerful call to action and how to bring inclusion into their communities, into their workplaces, into their schools and into society overall. And so you can answer this however you would like, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's with the Josie and Mike stores, or however you want to answer. And I'm going to do a little spin to it. And so, how does inclusion, or what does inclusion mean to you, and how does this partnership bring the value to life? But in particular, what does inclusion mean to you?
Inclusion to me means that everybody gets to belong without having to change who they are. I think instead of thinking in terms of people's limitations, we should instead be focusing on abilities. Inclusion for me is really about kind of widening your circle versus tightening it up.
Awesome. I love that. And so that's a perfect way to wrap up. Thank you again, Maegan, for taking the time to come on the Special Chronicles podcast, and hopefully I'll see you out at the Downers Grove location on the day of giving. And thank you again, Maegan, for joining us for this inspiring episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. A huge thank you to Maegan Duffy for showing her leadership, her passion, and her commitment to inclusion, and to the entire Hellcat Group and the Josie and Mike's family for their incredible support of Special Olympics through the month and the day of giving. We remember you can be a part of this movement to visit your local Josie and Mike's on the day of giving on March 25th. Enjoy a great meal, get a sub, and know that every dollar goes directly to support Special Olympics athletes and the programs in our communities. If you enjoyed this conversation, share with a friend, teammate, a coworker. I guess they could say like, subscribe. I don't know what exactly they say, something like that. And for full show notes, links, and to listen or watch more episodes, visit specialchronicles.com. And until next week, remember, choose to include, and we'll see you next week right here on specialchronicles.com. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review. Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes for free. Also, there's a list of our favorite original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Daniel Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.